Hi guys! Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. This is my vlog for Camp Believathon, hosted by the amazing human being that is Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. This is happening from tomorrow, from the 1st of December to the 7th of December. A whole week of middle grade fun and fun reading sprints. Something that I did not mention when I was doing my TBR video is that, of course, since this readathon is going from the 1st to the 7th, and the 'Tis the Season-a-thon and the 24-hour readathon hosted by Steph from Steph Loves is like happening from the 5th on, they overlap. And I did not even mention that during my TBR video, so yeah, math. But so I'm pretty sure that with everything that I want to read for the festive readathons next week, I'm probably not going to have too much time to read middle grade next week. So everything that I want to read for this readathon, I'm going to have to read in
Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
during the 4 days that I still have in this week. But that's okay, we only have 4 books on my TBR. One is on its way. I have the other 3 right here. The first is Sabotage on the Solar Express, and that's for the prompt, read a book that reminds you of your favorite Christmas movie. And my favorite Christmas movie is Home Alone. And of course, this isn't exactly like that, but a little boy trying to solve a mystery or like to prevent something from happening. It's similar. I mean, do you know a book that's basically like Home Alone? If you know, let me know down in the comments, because I would love to read that. And it has to be middle grade. Not sure if I can find one of those. I did look, but I think that works fine. So this is about Harrison and his uncle. They always go on adventures on trains. They don't mean to find mystery, but mystery always finds Harrison apparently, because this is the 5th book in a series, and of course there is another mystery involved. This time they're going on the Solar Express, and that's in the Australian outback. So a very different vibe than all of this, but that's fine. These are always very quick reads. I also have the audiobook for this one, and there are always like little cute illustrations in them as well. I'm always flying through these, and I can't wait to continue with these. I love the adventures, and I think the stories of these are also very well done. Like some of them, it took me a while to figure them out before it was revealed, so very good start to this. And the next one is still on its way, and that's for the prompt to read a book that features all letters of the word snow in the title. And for that, I'm gonna go with the sequel to the Sabotage on Solar Express, which is the Arctic Railway Assassin, which is the 6th in the series. And that one works perfectly for this readathon because it's icy, it's snowy, it's Arctic, it's perfect. And the letters for snow, S-N-O-W, are in the title if you take adventures on trains as part of the title, which I do. And then we have the prompt, read a book Santa would approve of. And for that, I'm going with Amari. Amari and the Great Game, which is the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers, of course. This is by B.B. Elston. The first book in the series is one of my favorite middle grade reads of all time. If you don't know Amari yet, go check it out. It's amazing. I have very high hopes for the sequel, which is maybe why I haven't picked it up yet. But I do want to get to this one in the next couple of days, I guess. And I do have the audiobook for this as well, so that would help me, because right now I need all the audiobooks that I can get my hands on, because right now I only read fast if I have the physical and the audiobook at the same time. That's how my brain works right now. And the last prompt that we have, the last bookish prompt that we have, is to pair a book with your favorite festival drink. And I'm gonna go with Frostheart Escape from Aurora. I don't have a green drink, but I'm just going with, this is a snowy place, a snowy setting, and I'm gonna drink something hot to counteract that. I'm going with it. So this is a sequel to Frost. Oh, a lot of sequels. This is almost like Final Book Support Group, but not. So this is the sequel to Frostheart, and of course this is following Ash and his ragtag team of friends as their journey on the Frostheart continues. They just arrived in Aurora, and of course now they have to escape it. So that's the last book on my TBR. I started this, and so maybe I will start with this as well. I have read 118 pages of this already, but it has 450 pages, so I still have a way to go. And like I said in my TBR video, I don't know why, but it takes me a long time to just read physically the pages of this. So I might just read this in little chunks and then take one of the other books that I have an audiobook for in between, so that I can get all of this done this week. Also, I have work. I have a half day of work tomorrow, but I still have some home office things to do tomorrow afternoon. But there are sprints tomorrow, so I'm happy for those. Then on Friday I have to work all day. That's gonna be a very long day. But that's it for this week work-wise. Then I have Saturday off and Sunday off. On Saturday I'm planning on meeting my sister and her boyfriend for brunch. Always good, always yummy. And maybe like go around town and maybe see what's what with the Christmas markets. So that's always fun. And then on Sunday I have a friend coming over and we're just gonna read all day. Perfect cozying up, perfect self-care. And that's also gonna be great for me to actually get some reading done. And yeah, we also have the prompts treat yourself to something, which I'm gonna do this week, and then watch one of your favorite holiday movies.
We went to Christmas markets and we did some reading. So that sounds awesome. I love that. Great plans. Thank you so much. I love doing like little kind of more intimate sprints. I love it. Thank you.
Hunting through the cupboards. We're gonna make electrodes. Bars continued. Normally I do flat metal plates because they conduct electricity and have a big surface area, so I'm thinking fish slices or spatulas, anything made of stainless steel. Marianne was already scanning the scattered utensils on the kitchen floor. What about whisks? She bent down and picked one up. There are loads of...
Are you done? Now she has to talk. Okay, hi guys. I finished my first book for the readathon and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't my favorite of the series. That is still the third one. Yes, the third one. That takes place in Africa. This takes place in Australia, and first I was like, not really a very winter read for this time of readathon. But then, like in the beginning, they're saying that they're in Australia in August, which works out perfectly. Sorry if you can hear my cat scratching. Which works out perfectly because in Australia it's winter in August. So this is a winter read. We follow Hal, who is again on an adventure with his uncle. They're going on the Solar Express, which is a very futuristic train that is supposed to be this new thing that helps the planet. This is basically the movie Speed in book form and as a middle grade, which is perfectly fine. And I love Speed, so that's good. Like, the first prompt is to read a book that's based on your favorite Christmas, we're gonna ignore the Christmas part, Christmas movie. I do love that movie, but it did make reading this feel a bit disappointing because a lot of the things that happen in the movie happen in this one, so it wasn't really surprising or something very original in my opinion. In the author's note, they're saying this story is inspired by our favorite action movies. Maybe that was like a hint And they're also saying in the acknowledgements this book was assembled at breakneck speed. So I don't know if they didn't put as much effort into this one as they did in the others, but I was kind of hoping to learn a bit more about Australia and like the sights that they're seeing, but this is so fast-paced. This takes place in a couple of hours. I mean, it was a quick read. I finished this just in a couple of hours. I was working today, and afterwards I went into town and met my sister for a quick coffee date, and then I went and did a little shopping for my Christmas tree. I put it up, but I noticed that I was kind of lacking in the Christmas baubles department, so I got some. It's still not perfect, but I'm keeping an eye out, and I still have some that I have to put up. But I also got this cute mug. I mean, isn't this the cutest? It's like a little Christmas tree, and it has like, I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna drink out of this, but it's just adorable, and I'm just gonna keep it on my shelf or something. I had to get it. So yeah, first book down. I joined the reading sprints that Gavin hosted for his patrons, so that was fun as always. And then I finished it after he logged off, and I think I'm just gonna go and start the next one in the series, which is The Arctic Railway Assassin, which is the final book that's been published. I'm pretty sure that the series is not over with this one, but this takes place at Christmas, so that's perfect, and it's also Arctic, perfect. And today it actually snowed, which was really beautiful. Yeah, I'm gonna start this one, and I'm happy to report that it's the 1st of December and I finished my first book. Look who came to join me. Are we gonna read together? She's like, you ignored me, now I'm ignoring you. Hi guys. Quick reading update. I just got back home from work. I've been at work all day. Christmas time and working in a bookshop. It's stressful as hell. I have to say my mind is kind of mush right now. I'm very exhausted, and I know this because my ears are very warm. And that's just that I know I need to recharge my energies. It's like the red light going on, that's my ears. Oh my god, I just saw how red they really are. Okay, moving on. I finished the second book for the Readathon, and that's The Arctic... How can I not remember these titles? The Arctic Railway Assassin, Adventures on Trains, book 6. And I thought that this series would continue, but it did kind of conclude in this one. So I'm not sure, like from the acknowledgements and stuff, it sounds like the series is done with this one, which works out well. It does have kind of like a conclusion where you like the last couple of sentences where you're like, okay, he's like moving on from his adventures on trains. But this was really fun. So I finished book 5 and 6, and I gave both of them 4 stars. I'm not sure, I have to reread like the first couple of books in the series to know for sure, but I have a feeling like the beginning of the series there was a lot of like more like slow burn mysteries, and there were still like just mysteries where he was kind of like a detective trying to figure out stuff, and he wasn't sure from the get-go that there is like a mystery to solve, so he was kind of just looking around, seeing stuff, and like working on, like, he's an artist, so he's always like drawing things, and that's also the fun part because whatever he's drawing we see as like an illustration, so that's always fun. And the later novels in the series, they kind of feel like an action movie more than a mystery, because there is like in both of these there's like a very quick assumption, okay, there's something wrong here, we're in danger, something is happening here. There's also like collateral damage basically in both of these. There's very much like a focus on action and fast-paced scenes, and I feel like the time that these take place in, like the timeline is very short, and I think in the beginning of the series we have more days where something is maybe happening, he's not sure, and in this one it's like bam bam bam, something's happening, we only have a few hours. And I'm more of like the slow burn mystery type of gal, even though like I really enjoyed these as well. So these are both 4 stars, and I really enjoyed it. I especially enjoyed in this one that we have his mom coming along. Did I tell you what this is about? I don't think so. So again, Hal is on a train adventure with his uncle, and right from the get-go they know something is wrong. Like I said, his uncle is trying to help an old friend who is saying that some weird things are happening to her. Like she feels she's under surveillance, someone is breaking into her apartment but nothing is stolen, something is going on, and she just won the Nobel Prize. She thinks it has something to do with whatever is she's working on, and somehow this person that is after her is ending up on the same train as Hal and Nat, but also his mom. And I love that she's part of this, and it just gives another hint that this might be a conclusion that his mom is there. So very cute, very family focused, and I love the characters in this one as well. And while this takes place in Australia, this is back in Europe. We're in Sweden, from Stockholm to the north to the Arctic Circle. So we have a lot of snow, a lot of Arctic landscape and setting, so that's perfect for this time of year. So I really enjoyed that, and I really want to go on this train right now, because of course I don't want the action part of this, I just want smooth sailing, but just the idea of going through Sweden and just seeing the northern lights and everything, that sounds amazing. And being on this train going through this landscape, that sounds really cool. So second day of the readathon, second day of the month, and 2 reads down. And for the next prompt, we have to read a book that Santa would approve of. And for that, I picked Amari and the Great Game, which is the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers, one of my favorite middle grade reads of all time. I just reread it. I've been very highly anticipating the sequel, and it's staring at me right now to come and read it. Lexi, she's having Patreon sprints for her readathon, so that's always fun. I am late to the game. They started almost 2 hours ago, and I think it's only gonna be like 1 more sprint or 2 more sprints, but that's fine. It's finally weekend for me. I don't have to work tomorrow or Sunday, and that's gonna be an amazing weekend, so I'm kind of ready to just relax. I got some sushi. I'm gonna make myself comfortable, put on cute little lights, maybe a candle or something, and just relax and get back to reading. But before I go and read more for Gavin's readathon, I thought I would just finish a book that I've been reading for a couple of days, and that's a German novel. It's a historical romance but young adult, and I've heard great things about it. It's set in November, so it's always great to read it around this time of year. I never got around the last couple of years to actually read it in November, so I was kind of happy that I at least started it in November, and I still have to finish it. I think I have like an hour left of the audiobook whilst reading along with the physical book, and I have to say I'm kind of disappointed with it. I thought it would be an amazing read and would be maybe a new favorite of mine, but it doesn't seem to be in the cards right now. I find the protagonist kind of annoying. She's not like other girls, and she is just basically a pain in the ass. I do like the love interest. He's a grumpy, it's basically, well, she's not really a sunshine, so it's not grumpy sunshine, it's grumpy annoying. But he's basically the grumpy librarian that she is falling for, and I do like him as a character. I just think there are some inconsistencies in his character and the way that he acts around her, and there is no real explanation given why he's acting the way he is and why he's basically keeping his distance from her. I hope the conclusion gives us a reason. If not, there's another reason to not like it. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with that one, but like I said, I only have like an hour left of the audiobook, and I'm just gonna fly through it, and then I'm gonna be done with that one, and then I'm gonna move on. But that's my plan for today. And then tomorrow I I'm not gonna talk about tomorrow because you will see it, and I might just update you all later when I read something. If not, I will see you tomorrow. Hi guys, little update. It's Sunday now. I'm sorry that I didn't update you yesterday. I don't think I did. That's because I went out, had brunch with my sister and her boyfriend and her little doggy, and that was amazing. And after that I just read the whole day. I did not stop. I just continued on. I was always thinking like, I finished this book, should I like give an update? And I was like, nope, I just want to keep going, and I did. So I'm happy to tell you that today is the 4th of the month, the 4th day of the readathon, and I already finished 7 books. Can't believe it. I also started 2, so I'm really happy about that. So let me just quickly tell you about the books that I finished since updating you. I think the last update I gave you was that I still needed to finish Amari, and I did that. And this I gave 4 stars. I had my suspicions that this wouldn't be as great as the first one, because the first one was just blowing me out of the waters right from the get-go, and this is the typical second book in a series. It wasn't disappointing. I still enjoyed it. There was a lot of action, but there was also a lot of like having to build on what happened in the first one and making it bigger. That's basically always what the sequel does. Like the first book, you get to know the world, you get to know the people, and then from the second one you have to take everything that happened in the first one and make it bigger. And that's what happened in this one. There is an old foe coming back. There is like more of Amari trying to navigate her new world, but there's also some tropes that I'm not really a fan of, like the chosen one basically with this almighty power that could save everyone. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. And that's basically what this is. This is, again, the great game is 2 people trying to one-up each other in this competition to decide what happens in the supernatural world, but also like with magician kind. And I didn't really enjoy that part because of course Amari is part of this game. You kind of have to suspend your disbelief a lot to imagine that kids are competing to decide what happens to everyone. This isn't about just the magic school or something. This is really like high stakes, everyone might die kind of stakes. So the competition itself wasn't really grabbing my attention very well, and the relationship that I wanted to explore more, like the thing that blew up and at the end of the first one, I'm not gonna spoil it, no, don't worry. I would have liked to see more of that in this one, and it was only in some parts of the book. So what I think is that this book tried to do too much. Like there were so many things happening, but at the same time they were resolved so quickly that I was kind of like, oh, she's not allowed in school. Oh, okay, yeah, she is. Oh, this is gonna happen. She's in trouble. No, she's not. So I think this book just didn't reach the same level as the first one, but I did still enjoy it, and I highly recommend you continue with the series because I think like the next book is gonna have a lot of interesting things happening. So still want to continue this one. On my way to meet my sister, I started an audiobook, and that's The Christmas Carols by Mel Taylor Besant. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's the first in a series, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue with the series. This is a very young middle grade book about the festive season. It's about Holly, who lives with her family in a very peculiar situation. They have Christmas all year round. They're very Christmas happy, and they want to spread the joy, as they keep telling us, all year round and to everyone. I mean, you don't have a choice. If you meet them, you will get the joy. I only gave this 2.5 stars. This was just a bit too, how do I say it, annoying? Yeah, the main character is very sheltered. The book begins with her family moving into another city because of the road's name. It's a very festive, very Christmassy name, and they of course want to live there, so they move there, and she for the first time has to interact with people who apparently don't like Christmas too much because she was homeschooled, so she's going to a new school now, and discovers that not everybody is like saying Merry Christmas and what do you plan to do for Christmas all year round, every day, 24/7. So it was kind of hard to believe that she would be in such a Christmas bubble, that she wouldn't know that that's not normal, because I thought from the premise that they knew that they were different from everybody else. I mean, even her parents are so like into it without noticing that not everybody is enjoying Christmas or enjoying their spreading of cheer. Yeah, it was kind of annoying from the get-go. They always have like these snow and Christmas puns that they work with, and a lot of like fart jokes, or not really fart jokes, but like farting mentioned. Like, I don't know what it is, because in another middle grade book that happens again. Like, is that a thing, like with British authors, like middle grade? It's the young middle grade range. I think they still find that funny. I do not. But yeah, I know I'm not the target audience for this, so I know this has to be taken with like a grain of salt, but it was just too much, because from the premise I thought that she would recognize that not everybody is living in her little world way sooner, like from the get-go. When she goes to the school and she notices, oh, I'm different, I thought that like twist would come very early in the story, and it just took forever for her to notice and think, oh, maybe I should change. Of course, in the end, is a story about being true to yourself, and like there is a learning curve for her. She does realize that her approach to it might not be the best for every interaction that she has, and I did enjoy the ending. So the last 20-25% of the book was really good. I really enjoyed it, and it does have all the festive vibes that you're going for, but yeah, not really mine. I'm not going to continue with the series, because I think in the second book it's just another family comes to live there, and they want to be like the most Christmassy family there is, and there's going to be like a competition, and that's no thanks. So I finished that one, and after that I on a whim decided to start with Pages & Co., the second book, Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales by Anna James, because this also takes place during the Christmas season. For Christmas, Tilly and her friend Oscar are going to France to visit his dad, who lives there with his stepmother. I didn't really get the Christmas vibes from it. I didn't get like, oh, Paris at Christmas time. And then when there was like the Christmas dinner and stuff, I didn't get like, ooh, I'm so cozy Christmas. I didn't really get that. So it does take place during December, not the most Christmassy like feeling that you will have during the read. But I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars as well. I don't know why I didn't continue with this sooner, because I really do enjoy like the writing style and the dialogues. I just love Oscar. If you don't know, like Pages & Co. is about Tilly, and in the first book she lives above the bookstore of her grandparents. She lives with them after her mother disappeared when she was like a baby, and she discovers one day that she can travel into books, or like main characters from books can come out of the books into the real world, and that's her story of finding out more about like her past and what she can do with this gift and the whole world around this group of people who can travel between worlds. And this is the second book. I really enjoyed it. The first book is about, I think, Anne of Green Gables, Alice in Wonderland, like these types of books. And in this one we of course follow books that have to do with fairy tales, and I enjoyed those more. So we have Jack and the Beanstalk, we have Little Red Riding Hoods, because there's more than one, Snow White. So I really enjoyed that part more, and it's also very funny to see Oscar and Tilly interact with these fairy tale characters, because they're so dense and they just don't realize what's happening around them, and Oscar's always just like pointing them in the direction that their story is going. So I really like that aspect. The thing that you have to kind of know about this series is that it's an ongoing story. So the first book left like a conclusion kind of, but it does continue in this story, and this is basically just like the middle part of that story. You don't have like a plot that's just in this book. I mean, there is like a conclusion in the end, but that's only a thing to open up the world even more and the whole thing that's happening in this series. So I did feel like there was like a thing missing for this to be like a book on its own, that it could stand on its own. But I really did enjoy it, and I already plan on continuing with this series, so yay, this was great. And the last book that I finished yesterday was Rainbow Grey by Laura Ellen Anderson. And oh, and I have to say, I listened to all the books that I mentioned on audio. So I had the audiobook for all of them. The Christmas Carols was the only one that I only read audibly. Everything else I had the physical copy and I listened to it at the same time. That's how I went through them so quickly, and I really enjoyed all of the audiobooks. I think there was not one that I did not like, and especially like Rainbow Grey has this, like Ray has this very cute voice. This takes place in the Weatherlands, which is apart from Earth, and in the Weatherlands there are these weatherlings that can control weather and are responsible for dispersing of storms and taking care of the sun and the moon and stuff. And every weatherling has a magic that has to do with weather. The only one that doesn't have any magic is Ray, but she's a very good sport about it. She doesn't really mind. She wants to be an Earth explorer when she grows up. She's very cute. I love her as a character. And one day she finds a crystal that has rainbow colors inside it, and it breaks open and the magic, the rainbow magic, goes inside of her, and then that's how she becomes Rainbow Grey. And so it's a very unique gift that she receives, and I really enjoyed it. I will continue with the series. I'm interested to see like where the author will take it, and it has all these very cute illustrations in between. This is her and her mom. Pages & Co. has them as well, so there's also like illustrations, and I like that sometimes the font changes, like when she's going inside like a book or something, there's like things coming out of the books, or if there's like something that's happening around her, all of a sudden she's like in a dark room, it's just black on the page. These had illustrations as well that had to do with the story. The only thing that doesn't have illustrations was Amori, and of course I don't know if Christmas Carols has them as well, but those are the ones that I finished. I also finished, where is it? Something that isn't middle grade, and that's Lynn Rina's Annemant Crumb's Staubchronik. I only gave this 2.5 stars as well. Not really, wasn't really my cup of tea. I was kind of disappointed with it. It's a historical young adult romance, so it takes place in London in the late 19th 19th century, and Animant, or Annie, is a very introverted person. She only likes to read. She doesn't really like to be set up on dates and like potential matches, so she's happy when her uncle invites her to come to London with him and take on a job in the library. The only problem is that there's a librarian that is very grumpy and that is getting rid of every potential librarian's assistant that there is, and she takes on this role and tries to make that her life. Sorry, that was a very bad synopsis of this book. I had hoped that there would be a bit more plot to it, but yeah. I think like the setting and the love interest and everything else would have been fine. It would have been maybe like a 3.5, maybe even a 4-star, but I just couldn't stand the main character. She was very annoying. She was not like every other girl, but at the same time she fell for like every guy that she meets, and she was just annoying. I couldn't stand her. So I will continue with this series because I have the arc for the last book of it, and it's only like a companion novel, so maybe I will enjoy it a bit more. The main character for that one I already met in this one, so I will give it a try. But yeah, I also finished that during this readathon. I wanted to mention that quickly. So the two books that I started for this readathon were City of Rust by Gemma Fowler and also Frostheart Escape from Aurora. I continued with this one from it's by Jamie Littler, and I do want to continue with these two. Not sure if that's gonna happen today though, because my friend is about to arrive. We're gonna have a staycation here at my place. We're gonna read all day, two introverts reading all day. That's gonna be perfect, and we're just gonna enjoy a nice day in and have some cake, have some coffee. And I think I want to start Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This is the friend that told me to read this. Like every time I ask for a winter recommendation, she always says, Spinning Silver, I already told you this. Oh, and there she is. So I will update you guys later. Hi guys, just checking in late night on Sunday. My friend left a couple of hours ago. It was really fun. We just did a little staycation. She looked at my shelves, she picked up some books, she brought me some new books that I'm not even sure when I'm gonna get to them, but it's always fun to share. And then we had some cake. It was all good, it was great. It was just amazing, cozy us time. Not me time, it's us time. And later on when she left, there was the live show with the watch along with Gavin for Holidays, Christmas with the Cranks, something like that. I don't think I've ever seen it before, and I didn't really like it. It was like 3 movies in one. Like there was like the thriller part at the beginning with like the cult-like neighborhood, and then you had like the slapstick comedy part where they're trying to get Christmas back together for the daughter, where I'm like, why are you making it so difficult? And then at the end it's very like warm, heartfelt, like kindness at the end. I really enjoyed like the last 5 minutes, so yay. But it's always fun watching these movies with other patrons of like Gavin and having the commentary of everyone, so that was fun. I didn't really read much today. I finished my reread of Lore Olympus. Loved it, gave it 5 stars. I continued reading Das schönste Geschenk, which is like a Christmas novel, a German one, and then I started reading Spinning Silver. Didn't get very far into it, but I did really enjoy it, but nothing of it was really middle grade, so nothing really for this vlog, but I did have a good time, so yay for that. But I think I will continue some of my middle grades next week because the readathon is still going until Wednesday, so here's hoping that I will still finish some of these books. But that's it for now. I will go to sleep very soon and I have work tomorrow, so. Hi guys, it's Friday now. It's a couple of days after Can't Believathon ended. It ended on Wednesday, but for me, Can't Believathon ended on Sunday. So I only read for 4 days and I read like so many things. I'm so happy with it, but I did think that I would end up finishing 1 or 2 more books like during the week, but that did not happen. Monday and Tuesday I read something for different readathons, and on like starting Wednesday Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today I have not read anything. I've been kind of in a slump. But not like a reading slump, just a slump in general. I've been so exhausted and kind of overwhelmed, but that's fine because like the first 4 days of the readathon I read like 7 things, so I'm very happy with how it turned out. So I finished 6 middle grade books during those 4 days and I'm very happy with that result, and I think I got all the prompts with all of these books. But let's talk about them in the order that I read them. I started off strong with these 2 books that finished off this series, which is Sabotage on the Solar Express and The Arctic Railway Assassin. So if you're looking for like a fun, fast-paced middle grade series that takes place all over the world, this is the one for you. I gave both of them 4 stars, so that was a very good start to the readathon. After that I read The Christmas Carols by Mel Taylor Besant. I read this as an audiobook and I did not enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I gave it 2.5 stars. Like I said in an update, I thought this would be more about her losing her Christmas spirit, but it took way longer than I thought to get to that point, which is a plot point that is mentioned in the synopsis, so this isn't actually a spoiler. So it took way longer and the character therefore just annoyed me a bit with her like whole Christmas spirit extravaganza. It did read very young, so maybe that's something that just didn't work for me with this one, but yeah, I only gave it 2.5 stars. But moving on to a book that I really did enjoy and that did not disappoint, and that's Amari and the Great Game. I gave this 4 stars and this ended on a cliffhanger, kind of, so I'm really hoping that the next book in the series will be out very, very soon so that I can get my hands on it and continue with Amari's story. After that, I picked up a novel that I had on my shelves for a very long time and I don't know why it took me so long to continue with this one, and that's Pages & Co., the sequel. This is called Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales by Anna James. This was great. This I enjoyed even more than the first one. I gave this 4 stars as well, and I can only tell you get the physical copy as well because I really enjoyed like the way it's written, when sometimes like the words fall off the page basically, so I really enjoyed that part. After that I picked up Rainbow Grey by Laura Ellen Anderson. This again was sitting on my shelves for a very long time. I picked it up once and I only read a couple of pages and put it down, and I thought this was the time to get back into it because I know Gavin is a fan of this author and now I am too. This was really cute. Again, I gave it 4 stars. I did start City of Rust by Gemma Fowler during this readathon, but I did not continue during this week. I'm now on page 192 of like 350 or something. I am enjoying this. I'm listening also to the audiobook of this. I was kind of hoping to get back into science fiction a bit more because I just noticed that I've only read like 2 science fiction novels in this year, which is crazy. This takes place on Earth in the future in a city called Boxville. It's called that because everything is kind of stacked up. Everybody is in each other's pockets. Well, let's say the world isn't at its greatest. People started shooting the trash into the atmosphere and hoping that it stays there. Unfortunately, sometimes what goes up must come down, and there is like some of these trash meteors that sometimes happen to cause chaos. We follow Rayleigh, who is doing like drone races with her biorobotic gecko, Addie, and this is Addie. Addie is kind of cute. I really enjoy like seeing things from his perspective as well, but we follow them after a race has gone horribly wrong and they have to flee into the atmosphere to the junkers who are mining the trash that's up there, and like very action-packed. There is like a mystery that's happening, like why they are in this whole mess, and they have to kind of figure it out. It hasn't really grabbed my attention as much as I would have liked. It's a fine science fiction middle grade. It has all the good things, like, so there's like a lot of action, there's a lot of family related issues, but also like finding the courage to take part in all of this and trying to save the city. But again, it did not capture my attention so much that I would have picked it up after I said I was done with the readathon on Sunday. So it's been a couple of days and I haven't really picked it back up. The same goes for Frostheart. I really hoped that I would finish Frostheart, Escape from Aurora by Jamie Littler doing this readathon. I think I did not, nope, I'm still on page 118, so I don't even think I read anything during this readathon for this. I read this beforehand. I just didn't want to pick it up. I think it's because I don't have the audiobook for this, and I don't know why it is that this, I love the characters and I love like the illustrations. I should love everything about this book, but I just don't gravitate towards picking it up, and I don't know why. But this is me saying this will be read at the end of the month. I want to read this during this year. And just to finish off everything that I read during the 4 days of this readathon, let's just quickly go into those things that aren't middle grade. I finished off the last pages of Lynn Rina's Annemann Kramp's Staubchronik. I gave this 2.5 stars. And then we have the 2 graphic novels that I read during the readathon. And the graphic novels I'm talking about, of course, are Rachel Smith, Lore Olympus. This is volume 2. I read volume 1 and volume 2. I don't have the physical copy of Lore Olympus 1 right now. I still need to get it. I read those online. Of course, it's a webtoon, so you can actually get it for free online. I did that with my reread for the first one. The first and the second is a reread for me, or was a reread for me. I really enjoyed them. I even like bumped up my rating for the first volume because I think I gave it 4.5 for like the first time I read it. Now I'm just enjoying it so much, I gave it 5 stars. The same goes for this one. I'm lying, I don't know, let's check. I'm lying, I'm sorry, I gave this 4.5 stars, the same as the first time I read it. I'm really happy that I got around to rereading these, and I can't wait to read the third one. So these are the books that I read during the 4 days I did the readathon. Not too bad, not too bad. Oh, I'm lying. I put this one on. Ignore me. That's it for now. Sorry about the very messy wrap up. Like I said, my brain is kind of mush right now. But yeah, I really enjoyed this readathon. Thank you, Gavin, for hosting it and for making it so fun and having like the live shows and everything. I really enjoyed that part, as always. If you guys like this video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of me. And if you want to check out Gavin and his Patreon, I'm gonna link all that jazz down below in the description box. Come join us, and maybe next time when Gavin is doing the Can't Believathon readathon, you can be part of it. That would be great. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time, and until then, I hope you have all the great reads. Bye!